one of the things that I really admire about you, Dana, is that you're not afraid to take criticism. You're not afraid to maybe do something that others are going to find polarizing, or other people are going to find ways to nitpick and whatnot. At the very beginning of the pandemic, UFC was at the forefront of coming back and trying to do it safely. And I just felt like you got maybe unfairly attacked for trying to bring the sport back, but because of people like you, I seriously believe other sports, once the UFC maybe took the bullets early, they felt comfortable coming back as well. Do you get a sense that you guys leading the way maybe impacted other sports feeling comfortable to come back as well?
I agree with you 100%. And yes, you're telling me the PGA couldn't go? These guys are on a golf course, outside. You talk about social distancing. I mean, yeah, nobody wanted to take the heat. And, some of these newspapers like the New York Times, the LA Times, and CNN.
Your favorites.
Just hammering anybody who, would even try to figure out a way to go back to normal. So I don't care about that stuff. I could care less what they say. So I guess that's what made me the guy to do it.
How exciting is this for you? All the obstacles you guys had to overcome over the last year, knowing that maybe you got through the worst you'll ever have to deal with running the UFC, that better times should be ahead, right?
Yeah, it's kind of sick and twisted to say, but it was fun. I actually enjoyed it. I've been doing the same thing for 20 years. This was challenging. It was exciting. It was different. I had fun last year, and we killed it, and we're having the best year we've ever had already now in 21.
Athletes that have come on my show in the past, during this pandemic era of sports, when they played without a crowd, they said it was the weirdest thing they ever had to experience. I feel like UFC in particular, it was some of the weirdest things we've ever watched as a viewer. I mean, the fighters could hear, Rogan and the other announcers. You could hear, the feedback from the coaches. What was it like? You're there at all these events. What was it like when there were no fans throughout this pandemic?
Yeah, it was cool and unique. It was different. When you have two of the best fighters in the world fighting for a world championship in an arena with nobody in it. You could hear every kick, every punch, shit talking. I mean, you could hear everything. So it was different. It was fun. But, we did that for over a year now. There was nothing like Jacksonville 2 weeks ago with a sold-out house, and I expect tomorrow night here in Houston to be insanity.
Do you have, I know you've always appreciated the fans, but do you have even more of an appreciation for what they bring to an event?
100%. I mean, it's and if you're a professional athlete, I mean, your whole life you've trained and sacrificed and worked so hard that you want to walk out of that tunnel with 20,000 people going crazy to watch you perform.
Is it ever difficult to not let maybe your personal feelings about a particular fighter, or things maybe they have said about you publicly or to the media, impact you when you're trying to negotiate and make the best fights for the fans?
Yeah, no, listen, maybe 10, 15 years ago, that stuff I could care less now. I mean, all that stuff, most of it I don't even hear. Unless somebody tells me, I don't hear most of it because I don't read anything. I don't listen, read anything that's written. Everything you read is bullshit. It's all bullshit, everything. And some of the things that they'll say that the fighters say, I don't 100% believe that either. So many things get taken out of context. So I don't read or look at any of that stuff. So unless somebody shows it to me or I hear other people talking about it, I don't know about it anyway. Well, and I ain't going to lie. I'm going to say that there aren't guys. Listen, every time Tito Ortiz fought, I was hoping he would get his ass kicked. Tito and I had a very public.
It was a pretty good 30 for 30 about that.
Yeah. We did not like each other, and so most of the time when he fought, but there aren't any kids out there right now fighting that I don't like that.
When you look at a guy like John Jones, you guys have had a lot that's come out publicly back and forth. I guess that to me would be an example of how do you manage the relationship with him? He's one of your greatest fighters ever, if not maybe the greatest fighter of all time. But you guys are in the midst of a public spat over money. How do you balance maybe your personal feelings towards John with trying to find a resolution so we can see him back in the octagon?
Yeah, so the John Jones thing, it's like people will say John Jones is the GOAT. No, it's Anderson Silva, it's GSP, it's Habib. I say it all the time. No matter what's going on with me and John, John Jones is the best ever. There are guys like Usman nipping at the heels. Obviously, Habib was too before he retired. But John Jones is under contract. He has a contract. We have tried to work with him and see if there's things we can do to make him want to fight at heavyweight. But if he doesn't want to fight at heavyweight, he doesn't want to at the end of the day. What are you going to do? You can't make the guy fight. And the reality is Derek Lewis is really the number one contender for the heavyweight championship right now. So it doesn't matter if John Jones fights or doesn't want to fight.
So what do you do with the heavyweight division? Obviously, Stipe looks like he's still in shape. It looks like he's motivated to get back, and of course, Francis is beloved here, in Houston and by all fight fans. What is the future of that division?
Well, John Jones made it very clear that he has no interest in fighting Stipe. So, it doesn't really matter. What you do is you do the fight with Derek Lewis and Francis, and then Stipe gets the winner.
Dana White with us here. As far as your career with the UFC, I mean, you're 51 years old. You're not old by any means, but you've been doing this for such a long time. Have you thought about how much longer you want to continue to do all you do? I mean, you don't need to be in every city where all the pay-per-views are, but you make time. You're doing all these shows. You're willing to come in studio with us and a bunch of other people here in the city, which is incredible. Have you thought about your future and how long you want to continue to run the UFC?
I love this sport. I love this company. I love all the people that I'm working with every day. I can't imagine doing anything else. And, I know for guys like you that are young and, starting out in the business, you guys are all like, when you talk about retirement. But as you really start getting closer to retirement, there's only so many trips you can go on. There's only so many cars you can buy. There's, all that stuff. It's fun, especially in the beginning. But I've done it all and seen it all, and I've bought everything that I wanted to buy. I love what I do. This is what I love to do, so I couldn't imagine not doing it.
What would Dana White be doing if he wasn't running the UFC?
Probably going crazy. I don't know what the hell I'd do. I don't know what I'd do if every day I have a routine. I get up in the morning, I go to the office, I work out, shower, and start my day. And I love growing the sport. I love growing this brand. I love finding new up-and-coming talent. And, I don't want to do anything else. I like to play a lot of blackjack. I'm a degenerate. I like to play blackjack. I do that as much as I possibly can.
No blackjack here in Texas.
None here.
It's unbelievable.
I'm on hiatus right now until I get back to Vegas. And they just dropped the mask mandate in Vegas, so it'll be nice to play some cards with no mask on.
Thanks for watching the full YouTube video. If you like what you saw, then please subscribe to my page for more content. Thank you.